And today we're gonna make manga together because what's better than making art together? So are you excited? If you're excited, type I'm excited in chat. Yeah.
I'm excited.
Yeah, I'd love to see that, coach. So, reminders, this is a hands on workshop. Please prepare your pen, paper, and drawing tablet and drawing software ready. Please make sure you have your two-page manga drawing template ready. If you don't have it prepared, we'll send the link in the chat. Well, yeah. So, with that being said, um, we're going to continue in on here. And you're in for something very special because the manga techniques that we're about to teach you are the same techniques used by pro mangakas. Which pro mangakas, you may ask? So, we work with the amazing manga artists like Nao Yazawa, who made Wedding Peach, and Rena Saya, who has also worked on manga and on how to draw manga books. Together, they have over 50 years of combined experience in the manga industry. They've done it all and won contests and everything. I've been teaching a lot of our students, got published, and taught beginner students in Japan on how to draw manga. They know what they are doing. We also work with Steph Pastrana, a professional webtoon artist. He started out on social media as a fan artist to popular shonen, and he is now the lead artist to an ongoing webtoon, and is also working on a doujinshi. We also work with the one and only Art Crumbs, creator of the Godsbane series, as well as the Viz original one-shot Onami. So, in the last 3 years, we've worked with over 400 beginner anime and manga artists. So, here you can see one of our students, Steven, who in less than a month has improved his paneling from sticking to static camera angles to more dynamic and engaging scenes with different angles and perspectives. We also have this amazing yonkomas that Garrett worked on in the past 2 months. And we also had students make their first manga format visual stories, like Joe here. In just 1 month, he was able to level up his paneling, inking, and more. So, now we're here to take you to the next level and help you create a manga that you can be proud of. You know, stay until the end for the live critique and Q&A, you know. And for those getting critique, we'll be asking some questions, so please make sure that you have your mics ready for the interaction, okay? Yeah, we'll figure out how you can make your work with our pro mangakas mentors and make that dream a reality. So, are you ready? If you are, type I'm ready in the chat. Mhm, 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 mhm. Okay, people are ready. People are ready. Okay, okay.
Hmm.
Lovely. So let's introduce ourselves. So, hi, I am Coach MJ. I'm a freelance artist. I also do character design, storyboard commissions, and I was a former animation student. My favorite thing to draw is hands. And here we have.
Hello, everyone. My name is Carl. I am Coach Rem. I will be one of your co-hosts in our quaint little session here. I am an illustrator. Primarily, I'm a traditional ink specialist, and I'm also a writer, and I am a former design lead. And
Mm,
yeah, glad to be here. And I hope I get to see some of your output.
mm-hmm. So, yes, without further ado, let's get started. So, part one, what is a two-page manga spread? As you know, manga is read from right to left, top to bottom. Your eyes track across the page, similar to an S curve. Pages come in sets of two called a spread. So readers should be able to immediately know which panel is in the next sequence. As you can see, your eyes follow a direction. And parts of the spread also correspond to the Kisho Tenketsu structure. You may be wondering, what is the Kisho Tenketsu? So it's a story structure. So ki is introduction. It sets up the scene and introduces the characters. Sho, it is the development. It builds upon the situation and introduces the ki. Twist, a 10, it introduces a twist or an unexpected turn of events. And ketsu, a conclusion that wraps up the story, often with a humorous or surprising ending. So as you can see here, we can see how it develops over. So take a look at how our students practice their skill in two-page press. Notice how they follow the Kisho Tenketsu flow that we explained earlier. So you start with the introduction, development, and then the twist with the conclusion. hmm So it's basically a guide to help you out on how to write your story. So now it's your turn to make a two-page manga. So welcome to the two-page manga challenge.
There we go. Let's see what
So
we got.
yes, we have the activity. So you guys are gonna have to create
Mhm.
a storyboard for a two-page manga based on the prompt on the next slides. You have 1 hour to finish this exercise. So here are your rules. Okay. So you have to read this speech and text bubbles that way, It has to be right to left. Okay. And the plot of the story has to begin and end within those 2 pages. Okay. So keep your story simple enough to fit in those 2 pages. And two, it must follow the Kisho Tenketsu. We just discussed that earlier. So I believe that you guys can follow that. So must be read from right to left. Panels must follow the S flow. Inking and effects are optional. If time permits, then feel free to add them. And six, submit them in a spread, meaning 2 pages in one image side by side. So first page on the right side, second page on the left side. Okay, does that sound good? And then the prompt that we have is your OC meets a hidden boss. I'll put up a timer for an hour. Let's see. Ha 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 ha, show timer. I'll put it up for 1 hour or 60 minutes. So your time begins now. Okay, let me open up this stuff that I've already started to like annotate. So can you see my screen? I hope so. This is by let me give their name a read. This is by Cool Man. Yeah, I think this is a cool concept. There you go. Okay, okay, okay. So with this, let's start off. Is my screen visible? I just want to check. Okay, my screen should be visible. Okay, there you go. Okay, good. My screen is visible. So we have Coolman's work on the screen right now. And first of all, I like the concept of this big scary monster being actually not the real boss, and it's this nimble goblin. Yeah, I like that. I think it's cool. There you go. And yes. You will be able to post your stuff, YouTube. Just hang on tight. We'll send you the hashtag to post later. For now, we'll be doing the critiques. Okay, so here, I started drawing already a little bit because my main part here, let's do this bit by bit. Let's deal with this panel first because I had a little bit of time while we were talking. So so I started drawing just a little bit. So with this one, my main thing with this one is ask yourself, why did you do this specific thing, why did you panel this? Actually, is Coolman still in the chat? Because if so, I want to ask Coolman to explain a bit of their drawing if they could. Mm-hmm. So yes, I believe I'm not sure if Coolman is available to chat. Okay. I can't hear you, unfortunately, cool man. But if you want to type, feel free to, and I'll be able to, and I'll be able to read your stuff. So basically, explain to me your idea behind this and all of that jazz. You know, while you do that, I okay, where was it? Okay, good. So with this, I started off with ask yourself, why do you panel it this way, you know? Because this one is a little bit disjointed and a little bit like all over the place, you know? I like the whole slashing thing in one big swoop. It's just a little bit, you know, why did you decide to panel it? Because as cool as this panel layout might seem, readability is always the number one goal. So with that, I suggest that the paneling will be shifted around. So this big panel over this two panel over here, it's going to be switched into one big panel. Yeah, it's going to be one big panel like that where they can put in their new sword slash. So instead of separating it in two panels, they go within one big panel instead. And it even overlaps a little bit with the bottom panels over here to have a pop out effect, to even have it as more dynamic. Yeah. And then we have here the button and then a button. So basically it's the same drawing there. So honestly, I could just like copy paste and put it in the frame, you know, a button, because I think it works like that already. And then you just go with the click. Mhm. And then go it over here. It's just about, you know, asking yourself why you panel things a certain way. Wait. I may just copy paste this other part. CTRLC. And then that's why if you have a specific manga drawing program, it'll be super um it will be super fun to do some changes because you can just resize and all of that. And then you can just add the hand there, you know? And then you can do the click. All of that, right? You get it? You get it, chat? Okay, with this one, what is the button doing? That's my question. That's my question here. What is the button doing? We suddenly see the guy appear, but did the guy get summoned? So my current suggestion is to add a trap door that open, like that goes, you know, whoosh or something, whoosh or like click. I guess open would be a good sound effect right now, you know, like creak or something even. But we want it to be fast, so open should be fine for now. And you know, it trap doors in open, and then we'll add like little swing lines over here, and then that's where this guy comes in. Personally, I'd recommend to adjust this character over here to be like they're still doing the button prompt. Yeah, they were still doing the button prompt, you know. So they were really like caught off guard, that type of thing. And then they turn. Because I like this. This pose is super cool. It's super dynamic. I like that they're gonna get kicked in the head. Super cool. So with this one, you know, they do the turn. They do the turn because they're like surprised. You can even add a little mampu of like, wah, 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 you know, that. And then from here, what I suggest, because I like how this is a reaction shot, but at the end of the day, it's like at the end of the day, I want to see the whole fight, you know, because this is you did such a cool setup for a fight already. So maybe lay down the battlefield of what they have here and just place them on it. I because right now I can't envision where everybody is located on, you know, like even if it's not like full bodied like that. Yeah, I'm drawing as fast as I can, chat. So if it's a little bit scribbly, you know. So maybe something like this because they're down or because they got down from the force, you know. And then they're gripping their hand over there and they got kicked. How would one land a kick like that anyways? Hmm. So let's say that they land like an axe kick downward because that's the one I can envision right now the best. So even if it's stick figures like this is probably something that you'd see more on thumbnails because if you want an editor to look at your work, you'd probably want to do cleaner lines and all of that jazz. So something along the lines of that. There we go. Yeah, and then you could, if you want, because I know you want to do the, and then you can do like big whoosh whoosh, big sound effects on that. But I know you want to do more of the emotion, so perhaps what you could do would be like a closer up version of it, just closer over here with the hand and the person, the hand and the person, and then they're looking up. It's like, oh, so you're the real boss. I really like that. I really like that that the nimble goblin is actually the real boss. That type of thing. And then the goblin can be over here, towering, you know, towering, just wow, with the foot, with their foot axe kicking. There you go. When I draw, I like to do sound effects because I just think it makes the drawing process more bearable for me. So, whatever floats your boat type of thing. Wow. So, there you go. And then you can even like doing like an angry face. So you're the real boss, that type of thing. Of course, you have to accommodate your speech bubble. So we'd have to move stuff around, maybe shrink it a little bit, and then add in the line over here. Blah 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 blah. Mm, maybe something along the lines of that. Wow. Because you're there scream because they realize, right? There's a realization. It's an exclamation point and a question mark. So maybe do a instead of doing just a regular like this, you could do a exclamation point, shouty one. Yeah, so it'll like convey the energy more. So in conclusion, I think that you had a really fun idea here. And props to you for getting this pose real cool. So in conclusion, my main points are um, focus on readability of your panels rather than making just the panels be cool. And then two, um, if a button happens, if a button happens, give them a give them a conclusion on what did the button trigger. And lastly, if you're going to show a fight scene, we want to see the cool happening of the fight scene. So yeah, I guess that's the main thing. And oh yeah, I added a turn here because the eyes were kind of just a little bit of, oh, they how did they manage to turn around that fast? How did they manage to turn around? Only their eyes were moving the last panel. So I made them full blown turn around with that one. What else did I mention here? I guess that's it for my side on this one. I like this. I think it's really cool. And good job on this one, cool man. Very cool. You live up to your name. Absolutely. Okay, so Coach Rem, I believe that you have your own manga that you can critique for us.
Sharing it right now.
Okay, let me stop my sharing once you've shared yours.
Mhm. All good. All good.
Okay, you've shared yours.
I'm sharing it at the moment. Yeah.
Okay,
On the
so I
live.
stopped my
Oh, there we
sharing.
go.
There you go.
There
I
we
stopped
go.
my sharing, so we should be good.
So, what we're seeing here is a submission by Akatsuki on there. It's from Zoom. And first off, reading through the story of this submission, I really like the humor and the flow of how they made this submission. Uh, I think the joke lands quite well. It works on the level of like something like what's it called again? Agretzko. If you guys are familiar with it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's so cute.
Uh-huh. And it reminds you of Agretzko. And then for my suggestions.
Uh, in the second panel right here, I would suggest um, if they are wearing sort of like the classic um, opaque but still white anime lenses, I think it would serve a better purpose if you draw like the eyes over here, sort of just to see that the character is like peering in the direction of their supervisor. Is Ken in the chat at the moment?
Not sure. Let's
Because
find out.
I would like to ask if that's the
Okay, Takatsuki can. We can ask them to unmute if they're free, or you
Hmm.
can type in the chat if you're free.
Of course.
Mm-hmm.
Because from the way I read it, uh, the direction from the first panel going down to here, it seems like this character, him or them, is looking at this supervisor type character as they're walking away. So, to better illustrate that this character is like glaring at their supervisor as they're walking away, I suggest adding the eyes, maybe in like a very neutral expression, or maybe doing something like a dashed line following the direction they're looking for. However, that would be a little bit uh, excessive. But yeah, I think my main suggestion for this panel would be drawing the lines over here. Then the usage of this symbol sometimes indicates a different connotation. Like if a character is saying something like oh ho, 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 or something like see you, and they're using this tilde, they could mean like they're saying it in a loving way. So maybe if this character is like saying or using this expression as like a way of saying that they are humming or singing, add a musical symbol at the end. So it seems like they are humming this tune. Okay. And with this kind of speech bubble, this type is usually reserved for like ideas and unvoiced dialogue. I would suggest using instead a more regular speech bubble, which is the rounded one, not the cloud. Everyone following so far? Gotcha. Okay, let's continue. Same way as this, or maybe if the intention is like this entire dialogue is being thought of by the supervisor, add more of the circles to indicate that this idea is being thought by the supervisor. And this is not something that this character is hearing. It's something in their head. And yeah, like here, you did use the regular or the normal speech bubble for thoughts, which is good. I like that. Let's put a check mark on that. Yeah, I like that. That's a good one. That's a good move. And I'm curious, what's the motion that's being showed here? Are they are they sort of like stopping from typing? Because that's the thing I assumed going from panel to from panel 3 to panel 4. He stopped typing. Okay, gotcha. So my suggestion there would be adding like motion lines to indicate the motion of their hands going away from the keyboard and them putting it behind their head instead. So draw the hands like with these kinds of lines. And then also, since this is an idea being thought of by this character, follow the same concept using the circles. Add more circles going towards the assumed position of your character with glasses. And then I think here the circles that we used in the third panel is a bit more optional since we only have one character being showed. However, since this dialogue bubble is interacting with with the fifth panel, it might be a little bit confusing. So for this panel, I would suggest uh, adding the circles back in. And then one thing you could also do to emphasize this character's surprise here is using manpu. Add something like this, like uh, hmm, they are surprised seeing this character walk by, and also to further drive the surprise coming from this um, speech bubble, increase the line weight of your speech bubble right here and add like very shaky lines here. Like keep it cloudy, but add a bit more spiky lines to indicate shock or surprise. Okay, let's go forward. Going in the same principle as panel 2, follow the circles going in the direction of the character thinking of this dialogue. And this one, I would really like to commend your usage of motion lines. That's another plus. Well done. The motion lines being indicated on the cat, like right here. Uh, Also, the way you drew the cat, you drew the warping quite well. And the usage of motion lines right here. Good job as well. I just want to rub you on my face. A suggestion here, not a recommendation. If you want to make this entire dialogue be or sound at least a little bit more like loving, or what's it called, Coach MJ? Like
What?
if you're interacting with something very cute,
Mm,
what would you call it?
affectionate, cuteness,
Yeah,
aggression.
that's it. More affectionate. Add something like this. You could even do more hearts if you really want to drive it home. Also, change the speech bubble that you used here. Use the regular one, like the just a circle. If it's not an idea that's not meant to be heard. And then yeah, with this one, following the idea from panel 5, add a bit more emphasis on this speech bubble. Like add a little bit more line weight to it. You can even do like the same explosion type thing. Also, it would do a better service for you, adding the classic uh manpu of this one. Or if you want to exaggerate a little bit more, add like fire in the background. And I think the intention here is like the lightning bolt or lightning in the background. Is that correct, Ken? In this panel? Yeah. I think that's what they were going for, I'm assuming. So yeah, yeah. They said yes. So yeah, well done on choosing this type of background for the reaction that you drew. And then for this one, just use the regular speech bubble here. Since this is a line of dialogue that you're intending to be heard by everyone. And then the way I would draw this character is like huh, something something like their soul leaving. Just a suggestion. You don't need to add this. Yeah. And yeah, I think the way you did your quick two-page manga spread is very well done. Some things you can improve, but overall for a very quick output, I'd say yeah, great stuff. Coach.
I agree as well. Okay, I guess it's my turn to do a critique, the final critique of the night. I'm so sorry. I wish we could have spent more time critiquing everybody's works, but we'll be here all day. Okay, so let me share my own screen again. Mm-hmm. Share screen too. Share. Let me just get the name again of the person, of the lovely, lovely person that I am critiquing right now. Let's see. Yes, Farzad. Yeah, if Farzad wants to like talk about their work, feel free to. You know, there you go. Or if Farzad can't uh use their mic, feel free to just type it out. So yeah. Okay. So You're here, you're listening. Do you want to talk about your manga? You're currently unmuted. So you can talk about a little bit your manga before I go into the critique that I went into. You can also type out. Okay. So I'll continue on. Coach, can you voice a cute character in an anime? Your voice is sweet. Thank you. I'm glad that you like that. I hope that you're talking to me and I didn't misunderstand. But yeah, I guess here's a tuturu tuturu. There you go. A reference. You don't have anything to say for now. Okay, there you go. Okay, so let's get into the meat and potatoes of this. Let's see. So with this currently, I really like the simplicity of your story. It's so straightforward, easy to understand, and the exposition you manage to oh you manage to like tell me, what do you call this? You manage to able to tell the viewers on what is happening because there seems to be a lot of baggage here with this character. But I got it. I like the coolness of your character, and I want to say this facial expression is so nice. This facial expression, so nice. And this, oh, there's so much emotion in this. Just the pure stark white background versus the blackness of this, and the little shading that you did in the skull. Mwah, chef's kiss. And also, I like the symbolicness of the main character removing the dark mask. Like they're removing the darkness from their heart, you know? So there you go. With that being said, let us there we go. Let us get into the meat and potatoes of what I currently have. Let's go bit by bit on what I decided to suggest. You know, bit by bit, chopping it up so we can tackle it one by one. So first, with this one, I think I understand you only had 2 hours, so I'm pretty sure that you can have the skill level to draw the stuff that I'm suggesting. It's just that you didn't have enough time, so I totally understand. So, with this, you have like a cave and everything, and you have a person who's about to enter a cave. So, I think it would be great if you would show the magnitude of how big the cave is. Because if the enemy that you're fighting is in a is it lives somewhere, that place that they're living in kind of represents who they are, because that's what they reside, that's the place that they spend their time in. So that's a great way to tell your viewers about your character without needing to exposition about it. So they live in a big dark cave, so we can assume they're like a big boss of some sort, somebody who thrives in the darkness or something. So if they have a big scary cave, that means the person antagonist will also be big and scary. Plus, it'll show I made the character in like a perspective that is like a perspective that is shrinking towards the top, and I made them very small in comparison to the mountain to show the visual weight of wow, this main character is gonna really go through something difficult, The main character is so small compared to the cave. How is main character San going to survive this battle against this big scary villain? So with this one, I understand that they were in a cave because you established that they were in a cave. So, but I think this one it's a little bit too dark for me to see anything. So, personally, I suggest draw the cave itself in a perspective like this where the entrance is there and then the main character is angrily walking. And then I personally suggest adding some torches adding some torches by the walls so that the main character is you can actually see the main character. You don't have to illuminate fully the entire thing. Honestly, I only added the lights in one side. So personally, we can have a half lighting moment style where this half is all shaded and in the dark and the other half is in the light because the character is going out of the darkness and into the light, being enlightened about the current situation. What's the current situation? He's dead. The person he was trying to fight was dead all along. Wow, it was so wild. So I really like the twist. But the thing is, it's such a cool twist, but it's kind of sad that it's just in text. I want to see the dead here. I want to see the dead villain. I want to, but it's like I can't believe that the villain is dead until I see it with my own eyes. So I personally I would like to suggest to draw maybe the throne room of the villain or where the villain resides. So you can show just how much of a, empty, like an empty husk that was left behind by that villain, both metaphorically and literally. So personally, I just imagine as the villain as like a evil, like an evil boss or something. So I put them up in a throne, and then you can do some cool lighting, and I put your main character being surprised. So it has here here's the pull page. That's the pull page, and this will become your reward page. Your pull panel, and this will become your reward panel. And then you can add your lines like this. When you add your yeah, you can add your lines like that or something along the lines. hmm So maybe instead of why, if you want to like maintain a more serious tone, you could go with he he's dead, and then continue on. You know, instead of what, you could go with a more serious stuttering or like a serious dot 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 type of thing. You know. So continuing, I really still like this vibe. Like honestly, the way that you did the just blank white void with the high contrast, I really like it. So honestly, I just squished it down so it'll fit in the panel because I noticed your panel separations are kind of a bit like too close. They kind of seem to level off on each other. So by segregating the panel heights to be a bit more different, it would add more visual interest. So, this works, but if you want other suggestions and other ways that you could do it, you could make the character literally just, like here's this here like put distance, just straight up full body, put distance between them type of thing. And then you're like, wow, you really see how far away they are from each other. And then he's pondering. Or if you want, you could make the main character pick up the skull. Pick up the skull. You could, but that might take a bit more panels to like get there because you have or whatever. So I'm just suggesting other stuff that you could be doing. But I think this works fine. Maybe move your character a bit more to the left because it's kind of awkward being in the middle like that when this being crunched up to the side. So if I were to suggest something, I would move it a bit like that and move this bubble a little bit like this. So, something that you've been working so hard for your entire life, and then bam, all for nothing. Oh no, the heartbreak of it all. But I really like this whole pondering of this all. Because I feel like without this pondering scene, like the comic will fall more flat. But because you had a pondering scene, that's pretty cool. And I think it would be great if your main character, instead of just a close up, I understand the close up is great for getting a reaction of the main character, but I kind of want to see more of the main character. I think I get it only small amount of time, so close up is the easiest thing to draw. Totally get it. But if you have more time, I suggest drawing the background again, but this time the main character is far away from it. They're walking away. They're pulling down their mask so that symbolically they're leaving behind their past. Like the skeleton is nothing but a small tiny speck at the back of their mind now. Back then when you first introduced the villain, it was on a big throne with lots of cool lighting, with, oh my god, even in death they are still so powerful looking. But now that the main character chose to walk away from that from the glory of killing him and decide to move to a simpler path, that 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 light, that skull is nothing more but a speck, something tiny in the back of their mind. And since the lighting was on that side, right, their lighting might be on this side, so this half, which is more prominent to the camera, will be in the light. And you can honestly adjust the lighting to be more overall light and tone in comparison to where you started here. So there you go, just shading a bit on the side. Overall, great job, Farzad. I like your story templing. It's simple, it's simple, it's straight to the point, and but still, has that emotional core. So I hope you guys learned a lot, because we shall be up and going now to our next part. Let me share my screen again, but this time we will be sharing the um takeaways. So, what are your takeaways? If you're watching us from the replay, write your answers in the comments. What did you think? What did you think, Chad? I want to hear from you. I hope that you guys had a fun. And if I would make another one assessment of a manga, you can just post it on the hashtag. We'll give your hashtag in a bit. And also, you can join our course if you want to, book a call, see if we're the right match for you. But post your work, and here is the hashtag. Hashtag. Hashtag LTDM. We are currently running out of time. So there you go. Hashtag LTDM 2-page manga workshop. I hope I spelled that correctly and I didn't mistype. It was fun. I'm glad. The last feedback was pretty neat. How the composition strengthened the story. Exactly. That's why the next time that you go read a manga, ask yourself, why did the creator decide to composition the specific panels to be that way? But thank you for your time. Thank you for your time. Now that you know how to make a 2-page manga, we want to ask you this. Mhm. Are you ready to take action and finally bring your manga to life? Are you goal driven and ready to commit to the making your manga dreams a reality? Are you a determined mangaka who wants to finally publish their first manga through self publishing, joining manga contests, and pitching to publishers? If this is you, type yes in the chat. Yes? Oh. Mm-hmm. Love to see people saying yes. There you go. If you answered yes to any of these questions, then we invite you to apply to our online one shot manga drawing program. You know, you'll get the opportunity to work with our Japanese pro mangaka mentors and be a part of an awesome community of aspiring mangaka like yourself. Just like our students, you'll learn for everything from drawing manga basics to crafting a full one-shot manga from start to finish. Here's what some of our students say about the program. I think I've gotten better at explaining my ideas as of late, by Joe. And, Takari said, I looked over my previous SMA submission, Silent Manga Edition, that I finished before joining this course. Comparing pages with my recent manga, it's very clear that I learned a lot. Here I uploaded the first 2 pages from both of my works. Last year, I didn't know what screen tone is or how to do paneling, didn't know much about perspective and anatomy. I struggled literally with everything. It was a pain. This time, I already knew what I need to do, I had refined the process and it was much easier, especially with the help of the coaches. So you've seen our students' result. You've read how happy they are with the community and the guidance from our mentors. So the question is, do you want in too? Type I want in chat if that's for you. Yeah, you want it? You want it? Hell yeah, that's great. Okay. If you want to make your time making manga more meaningful and more productive, then our online one-shot manga drawing program is for you. We are on a mission to help you publish your first manga with pro mangakas acting as your editors. We've worked with amazing manga artists like Naoya Zawa, who made Wedding Peach, and Rena Saya, who have also worked on manga and collabed on how to draw books. Together, they have over 50 years of combined experience in the manga industry. They've done it all. They've won contests, got published, and taught beginner students in Japan on how to draw manga. They know what they are doing. We've also, yeah. So we've also worked with Steph Pastrano, professional webtoon artist. He started out as on social media as a fan artist to popular shonen, and he is now the lead artist to an ongoing webtoon, and is also working on doujinshi. And also the one and only Art Crumbs, creator of God's Bane series, as well as the Viz original one shot Onami. If you can, yeah. So, with that, this is for you if you are committed to making your own published manga, you have a unique story that you want to share with the world, you are done figuring this out alone, and you're ready to learn from a pro, mangaka mentors. You want to connect with fellow mangakas who seek consistency and empowerment. If that sounds like you, then say, "That's me" in the chat, you know? Mm-hmm. If that is you to any of that questions, then you're invited to apply and join our online one-shot manga drawing program. Enrollment is now open. So book a free manga consultation call. So, let me just get you your link. Actually, Coach Ram, could you send it over to our chat so they can go ahead and click that in? You can also type it out if you want. There you go.